Okay, good morning. We're back to our Shalom Bayit Shiur. We're on page 290. 290, chapter 12. We're almost ending the book. Yesterday we discussed about what? We discussed about being there for the woman. And even though she's doing mistakes, child rearing, telling them things, you still have to be next to her. Stand next to her. Yeah? Don't, start giving her a lecture. You shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. He says over here, in many cases, couples argue about matters of almost no consequence. The evil inclination incites the husband to be stubbornly insistent about something, and a fight follows. You hear? Many times the arguments are mamish, there's no substance to it. For example, the wife asks the husband to clean something or organize something for her that should take no more than half an hour. But he's resentful of her desire to take up his time, so he doesn't do it. The resulting argument may then last into the wee hours of the night, when the whole episode could have been easily avoided. Had he granted her a mere half an hour of his time, he would have spared her untold anguish and spared himself of both migraines and wasted hours. Yeah, sometimes she wants something from you, and you're busy. Why can't you do it? I understand. Why I have to do this? I came from work. I did this, that. It turns into an argument, and you fight all night, and then the next day, two sour faces. He says often, a wife needs her husband for a short moment to show or ask him something. The husband might be busy and fails to respond. Maybe he just calls out, "What?" and continues with what he's doing. When she vays again for his attention, he replies more impatiently with another, "What I said," yeah? This lack of regard for his wife leads to strife. She may have only wanted his attention for half a minute. Now he'll need hours and hours to placate her, yeah? Like we said, this woman, which is our wife, she constantly tests her, am I number one in his heart or not? So she's gonna, ask you things that are sometimes like, come on, they're so trivial. Why are you wasting my time with this? Yeah? So he's saying sometimes we want to make a point of, why are you wasting my time? And we're gonna end up spending much more time to appease her.
How long does it take to appease her? A month or so? So one mistake that...
No, so this is a collection, and it becomes like a solid rock. And it's not, so what you have to do is you have to undo this. How do you undo it? By zipping the mouth. Remember we said, in order for you to zip them out, it has to be zipped them out forever. Meaning this is a new style of living. Yeah, imagine you're 200 pounds and you want to go on a diet. You can't say, okay, let me diet for 1 month and then I'll eat whatever I have to do. No, you diet for 1 month, you reduce the weight, and now you have a different lifestyle altogether in your diet. Same thing with the wife. We can't say, oh, you know what, let me prep her up for a month and then, I'll be back myself. No, this is going to be a new style of living. You understand? Meaning, no comments, make her number one. When she says, honey, I'd like to ask you something. See, John, yes, Johnny man, what would you like? And like that, but ours, we're so busy with our things. Like, yeah, I'm coming. When you do that, she said, this guy doesn't, he thinks I'm just, another Joe Schmo. And she doesn't want to feel like that. She wants to feel like, this is my husband. All of his attention is on me. And it's mamish, it's trivial stuff. It's like stuff that there's no substance to it. And that's what he's saying. He says, many of the things, she needs you for 5-10 minutes. But when you come for those 5-10 minutes, be all in. Like mamash, not on your phone, not your head with your buddies, not your this. All in. See, yes, my love. What would you like? He said, oh yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, I see. He says the Talmud teaches that it's difficult to appease a woman. Yeah, the Talmud says that. When husbands see this, but don't understand why, they feel that their wives are either spoiled or vindictive, right? Vindictive. We think because it's so hard to appease a woman, he says all women are like that, by the way. Not your wife, not his wife, not Rabbi's wife. All women are like that. So he says, the minute we see, this one is spoiled, Balin, what did I get? This one is like this. It's not. He says, they don't want to play this repeated game of humbling themselves before their wives while trying to appease them. So they decide to try, not to try to do anymore. They think that their wives are acting malicious, so they apply strong hand with no warmth of affection. In reality, their wives are no longing for reconciliation and too close with them again. They just don't know how to stop this vicious cycle of hostilities. With this in mind, a husband is careful to be loving and patient no matter what. His calm will neutralize any strife in the home. See, what he's saying is what most of us get into. What happens? We get married, everything's fine before the marriage, right? Then all of a sudden we start to break down. How? We start to think that we know better than her. We're comfortable, and now we start saying, sorry, this is supposed to be like this, do this like that. It's better if you do it like that. I don't like the way like this. This food was not really good. There's no salt over here. Why the kids dirty? Why my mother cooks better? Oh, my sister's better at this. Why you look like that? What's wrong with your dress?
Do you think that, let's say, for example, you like potatoes to be this way?
Good.
You like
Yes.
Your mom cuts your cubicle, for
Yeah.
example.
Yeah.
She does it alone.
Very good.
When you eat it, it
Good.
tastes good. Do you have to tell?
So first thing, you eat it nicely. If she made it, you eat it. Wow, delicious. And then you never, first of all, mention your mom. You never say, oh, my mom used to do like this. That's it. That's a checkmate. You put your mom on the number one spot, and she's number 1,000. You hear? Nicely, you could say, it's interesting. I like my potatoes like this, like that. You could tell her. What we're saying is that when she does it for you, you know what you do? Many men like this, buddy. I don't eat this. Chiga. No, not for me. Whatever it is, too salty, too schmaltzy. That's a major, major insult to her. Major. Even though it might be too salty. Even though it might not taste good. Why? She, in her mind, is thinking, I spent hours on this. And he chukborin like a dog, he just, I'm not going to eat this. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, it's so you have to do it a nice way. You have to eat. She's like, Ibi, but it doesn't look like you ate anything. No, I ate. Just a little bit, not lie, chas v'shalom. No. It's called.
If the meat already comes with
it's called.
Salt,
Yes.
and then more salt,
Yes. It's called bending the truth a little bit. Yeah. Why? Because we have to be easy on them. They're very sensitive.
The second week is the exact same thing.
Oh, slowly. First of all,
the meat already salted,
yes.
put more salt on the rice. And
So we have an interesting concept over here. Number one, that's exactly what Hashem wants from you. He's testing you because if Hashem didn't want you to eat salty, guess what? It would not be salty. So if it's happening, it's always Hashem. It's always Hashem. Remember we said, she is a stick in Hashem's hands. You hear? If you improve your ways, she'll know exactly not to put salt there. You hear? But let's get back to this. It says, they think that their wives are acting maliciously. What do we think? After already we're 4 months, 5 months, 1 year into the relationship and thinking, brilliant, this one thinks she's the boss, yeah? So what do? He says, we now start to do a tight fist rule. We become a little bit stricter with her.
Iron fist.
Yes, iron fist. We become stricter with her. And what happens? Now that we're stricter with her, she's thinking, what is he doing to me? Yeah, exactly. So, and he says, what happens? It becomes a vicious cycle. And this vicious cycle, we cannot get out of it. And it goes to 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. And then this hate is there. Now you're thinking, yeah, but we're living together. We have relations sometimes, this, that. Yeah, but it's all such a vicious cycle that in order not to break it down further, because now there's kids involved, now there's this and all that. So many marriages that are still together, they're very, very vicious, Takoy. Roommates are actually even better. This is worse than roommates. And says this vicious cycle of hostility. He goes, it doesn't stop. With this in mind, a husband is careful to be loving and patient no matter what. Yeah, his calm will neutralize any strife in the home. What he said yesterday, what the wife said to him yesterday, it's a big, big thing. That she says, you know what's different now? You're more calmer. We men are too excited, meaning too excited because we're pumped up with everything that's in our minds. Sometimes we answer a little bit too nasty. We don't see it. We don't see it. Like even our faces, our facial expression, it's a little bit too, and they feel it. Right? They want you to be relaxed, calm, yeah, in a nice, calm, gentle manner. By the way, we do that to our kids too. If we notice, sometimes we act, Papa, hey, Pataji, what did I do? We do that often. My children later on in life, as they start going, say, oh, Abba, you're very takoy. I went, really? I said, I don't know. But if I think about it, I would. I remember driving, why? So much in your mind, the business, this, I gotta open up and I gotta drive them, and this, the traffic, and the wife is gonna, and they want to ask an innocent question, and you, as not a responsible father, with no control, right? Because we're not really men, yeah. And our sergeant or whatever, he's in control. So that's how to our own child, Baruch Hashem, ours is already grown, but small children, 2, 3, 5, 10, 11, 12. That's a major affront to their self-confidence. You understand? Imagine their own father, their own mother screaming at them. Now remember we said, if the mother screams, they shochai, they're. But if a father acts a certain way, they take that very personally, because for them a father is a father. It's a little bit different. That's why we have to improve ourselves. Character development is the most important thing, to develop our characters, that we're always calm, collected, that we know exactly where we are, that we don't lose our head. You understand? And the wife is the biggest barometer of our character refinement, because through her actions, if we don't overreact, we can see that we really are working on ourselves. If we overreact, it means you still need a lot of work. If you're fuming, you shouldn't be fuming at your wife at all. I've noticed that you should not be, no matter what it is, you should be calm. Why? Because that's how you're supposed to be. You have to deal with the situation in a calm way. He says, tyrant in the house. The Sefer HaBrit says, there are people who are careful not to harm anyone and love and honor others, yet hate their wives and insult them. We see this very many times, yeah? To our outside, this guy, ooh. But when it comes to a small argument, he'll curse at his wife. He'll tell her things that you wouldn't imagine come out of this guy's mouth. And you're like, you say these kind of things? If people outside would hear, they'd be shocked. This guy talks like that? Yeah? They say that there is no sin in this. They don't understand that their sin is even greater than if they would do this to a stranger. Why? They think, that's my wife, I can say anything I want to her. He says, no. He says, better say it to a stranger than to her. For one's wife is the essence of one's own flesh. Furthermore, why should wives not be included in the commandment of do not hate your brother in your heart and love the neighbor as yourself? Yeah? He says, what happened? You took these two halachot away from the wife? She's the main person that these pertain to. Yeah? Everybody else you apply this. Don't do bad to him. Yeah? But to the wife? No. He says, an ancient Jewish adage says, just as their faces are not alike, so too are their opinions are different. Husbands and wives always have different preferences and goals to one another. But this need not stop them from building a happy and successful life together. Yeah? They know when they get married that there will be differences of opinion between them. And their intention is that what? When they arise these differences, they will respect each other's wishes and arrive as mutually satisfying compromise as they can. This works well, meaning it's okay, we can agree to disagree. Yeah, it's always okay. You think it's like this, fine, I could see it, but I think it's like that. And she said, yeah, I see it as well. Yeah, it's okay to disagree, no problem. Disagreement is fine. To argue about this, that's already not normal. A lot of times people feel that I don't care what's his feelings. I feel this way. But I tell the person, okay, but could it be that this person has a genuine feeling about this? So we have to also understand his feeling, correct? Acknowledge the feeling. Like I was recently getting a haircut, and I asked the gentleman that was not cutting the hair, he's an older man. I said, how's everything? He's like, everything's good. I said, how's your son? He's in a certain state. He's like, he's okay. I didn't like the way, because usually used to say, oh, he's very good, he's very good. I said, what happened? Nah, I haven't been going there for a while. Why? Because apparently he lives in another state. So the father and mother go to visit him, right?
He's married or not?
He's married. The mother married, has a wife, kids, and his sister, which is their daughter, his sister wanted to come, right, with them together, and he told her, I don't have space. Can just mom and dad come? Yeah, he said. So he said, how come he was not inviting my daughter, which is his sister? What is this? We can go, she cannot go? He goes, he has a big enough house. You know, they're upstairs, we're all downstairs. I don't understand that. So I said, you know, did you ever think that maybe the wife doesn't want for some reason? You know, for some reason. Forget the reason, I said. Is it possible that maybe, you know, at least they're inviting you, right? You say thank you. Why are you getting upset at him? Because he's saying, can you just come and leave the sister? Meaning, I wanted to tell, but maybe there's another person who has certain feelings. And we have to accept that other person's feelings. We cannot get upset. We cannot just discharge the feelings like that. At the end of the day, we have to respect the other person's feelings as well, no?
We always have to think about somebody else.
No, but at least you have to know that, forget your feelings. What if I'm feeling a certain way?
So I'm thinking for somebody else.
Of course. Meaning, you cannot be so rigid and think, no. This is how I feel. This is how I want to do things. Yeah, but what about your spouse? What about your mother-in-law? What about your brother-in-law? You know, what about your, you know what I mean? A person sitting next to you. You know, it's not like, excuse the выражение, but you cannot pass gas because you have to pass gas. There's people around you. And unfortunately, we can pass gas in other ways. Yeah, not literal sense. We don't care about anybody. Yeah, we could talk the way we want. We can, you know, do things the way we want, right? Why? What about the other person? What about the person in front of you? Where's that? Passing gas, you're like, nah, but it's embarrassing, yeah? But sometimes words are even worse than passing gas. Because this gas will go away. These words will never go away. It's going to stay there in the person's heart, especially in the woman's heart, and will never, it's almost impossible to remove that. It'll always be in the recesses of her heart. We men are not like that. That's why we don't understand her. We think, what's the big deal? See, I don't even remember what you told me yesterday. You know? I really don't. Yeah? But they remember everything. Why? Because it hurts them. They look at this differently. Yeah? He says that, good. He says, a husband that feels that being a man of the house grants him the last word and the power to veto over his wife's wishes is a tyrant. Yeah? He's a tyrant. Why? It's a mutual relationship.
You said it so well because the Muslim mentality.
It's a mutual relationship. It says, this was the attitude of the wicked Haman, and all the wives will give honor to their husbands, so that each man will be the ruler in his home. Right? This is Miglat Esther. He wanted his wife and the children to bow down to him, to serve him like slaves, and to accept whatever he said. Such a person feels that he has the right to insult his wife and children and make them fear him. Believe it or not, many of us are in this path. You know, I remember when I was younger, not married, I had the thoughts in my head. I'm going to sit there like a king. I'm going to say, Tawai chai. You know, bring me tea. I don't know what's with Bukharians and the tea. You know, illusionary, right? But I really thought that way.
Dreamer.
I'm a
You
mush.
grew up like that.
I used to, but I really didn't see that in my house. But I'm saying, but this was the general understanding.
Torah, rabbis, and stuff like
No, not the Torah. What Torah? I wasn't even in the Torah world. It's the Uzbekistan mentality. You understand? It's because we heard this one talk like this about his wife, and we heard this one talk about like that, and we were surrounded by this whole atmosphere of. Exactly. We were poisoned. And guess what? We're poisoned till today. This is so deep inside of us that we're not understanding that, listen, she is the queen of our house. You know, we don't treat her like we don't speak to her like that. Chas v'shalom. You know? I don't know if you've been seeing in the news, yeah? Right now Donald Trump is in England with the king, yeah? Look how nicely presented that. See, everybody should learn how to dress from them. Do you see any flesh with these ladies? No. By the way, right? On the side. Nothing at all. Meaning, Trump's wife dressed nude. The other princes of Wales dressed nude. None of them wearing no lamka, no open, you know, nothing. Why is that? Do you have anybody question that? Why that? This is by the way, right? By the way, I'm just saying. But the respect they have for the ladies, that's how it has to be. We Bichlal don't even think this way. You understand? And therefore he says, you cannot treat your wife and children like slaves. Interesting. Yesterday, 2 ladies came from a different state. They were looking for something. From California. You know what they said to us? Because a little bit Italians, they're like this.
They said, wait, here?
No, in my store.
Oh, yeah.
They said, yo, our father, mama used to treat us like slaves. Now, by the way, they're about 40 years old already and not married. He says, we had a business, he made us work like dogs. You know, he's the old Italian taco, yeah? Pizzeria. To the point that he became a little older, his mother said, get the hell out of here, and she divorced him. He said, so even by them, high rate of divorce. Why? Because they treated their wives and children like dogs. Well, you're a slave. And they said, we mama slaved in a pizzeria. He barely didn't give us even money. You understand? Why? Because this mentality of ours, right? This mentality of ours, that we come home, что туалет грязный? Why is the toilet gray? What do you mean, why is the toilet? So you go get a maid. You understand? I mean, she could tell you that, right? And some of them do tell you that. But we want everything to be, where is it? Where's my food? Where's my iron shirt? Where's my iron pants? Right?
That's why when we have a girl, everybody says,
Biskin, badbach. Exactly why?
Why we don't do party when we have a girl? We make a big party when we have a boy. Why is that? It should be opposites.
Boys, one day they're going to tell you bye-bye. And even if you're old and this, I don't have no time because Shalom bye. Exactly. But a daughter always will be there. Always.
Men complain. Why she don't fold my clothes and put it in the drawer? Why she doesn't, put my shirts? My friend, is he your wife or is she a slave? If she's not doing this,
Why she's cooking then for you?
one second. Why she's cooking?
Why she's cooking? She's not a slave.
No, she wants to.
No, she's not a slave.
Listen.
It should be optional.
One second. It is.
Talk about optional.
Many women don't cook. What do you think? So all women cook? If your wife cooks, that's spasiba. Many women, you know what they say? Brat,
That's not by default.
go to errands. It's not by default.
Not by default.
No,
All
it's
those
not.
kids, Shabbat.
It's not by default. No.
Taking care of
If she's doing that for you, guess what? She's giving you big time chesed. You know what? She wants to iron your shirt, fold your underwear, put it. She wants to do all of that if she sees you're a man. And we said that already. She wants. When she's not doing it, guess what? It's a calculated not doing. Who the hell does he think he is? He treats me like the dog. She washes it, by the way. The guys tell me she washes it, but she doesn't put it away. Oh, he wants me to put it away. But she says she's washing it for you. You understand? No, again, should she be doing this? Yes. Does she want to do it? Yes. When I have a man in my house, when I have a husband, when he treats me beautifully, when I'm fulfilled. When I'm not, I don't want to do anything. I want to see him wallow like this, like dirt. I don't want to do anything. Not even take care of my kids. I don't want to. I have no, I'll say, cheshek, desire. I don't have no desire to do that. But when you infuse her with like this, like you said, and like this with the mouth, she will do anything and everything for you. In fact, I was talking to a guy yesterday who were doing the coaching, and he told me, listen, I bring her coffee, this, that. She never does that. Yesterday, I told her, she made coffee for me. Nobody asked her. Nobody told her anything. It's they want to do this. He was complaining 2-3 weeks ago. I don't understand. I'm treating her nice. I brought her coffee to the bed. That. Yesterday, finally, she bought him coffee. He was shocked. Now I don't know where.
Why you give him a lecture?
No, we've been working 2-3 months. We've been working, together. Yeah, but I'm saying, I didn't tell her to do anything. Yeah, I don't. Why? Because I want him to do it naturally, and I wanted to know, does it naturally happen? Because if you tell them, then it doesn't work. But when they naturally do it, when they didn't do it, guess what? Something's got to be working. Something's got to be working. And that's why I challenge everybody to be a man, to watch your mouth. You'll see your wife will be doing things that are not normal at all. Meaning, it's normal, but in our books it's not normal. Why? Because we never were zoche. How do you say that?
Married.
We never married it. Man, I'm already forgetting English. What was that? No. We never married it for her to be this way.
Let me say something real quick.
Yeah?
When I was telling you yesterday, I asked my wife, she's like, I didn't even realize.
Yeah. You know why? Because it's natural. He's saying, I didn't realize that I told you not to do this. It's beneath you. Go sit down. I got it. It's natural. When they're acting with us this way that we have our wives in the situation that we have where she doesn't want to, that's not natural. That's not a natural woman. She also doesn't recognize herself. She wants to be a wife, but she's not able to. Yesterday I got a call, Sorry. Yesterday I got a call from a couple. She, imagine this. I wish all of our wives does this. She says it's our 1000th day anniversary. He's at work.
3 years.
Huh?
3 years.
Whatever it is. He's at work. She stayed from work to decorate the whole room, balloons, this and that, to tell her surprise. I had to devil didn't share that he's gonna come earlier. He shows up at 11 o'clock, 11:30. She's in the middle of this thing, you know? He's like, what are you doing? She's like, what do you mean, what am I doing? What are you doing here? Anay mo gavarit. You know? I was gonna spend. You know what he tells her? I don't need any of this. Yo,
What?
What are you crazy? I said to him, are you retarded? I said, do you know how many men would want to be in your shoes that she's doing the whole room for you? Usually the man's supposed to do that. He Bichlal didn't even know what the 1000th day of marriage is. So we have wives that are good wives that want to. By the way, a year and a half ago, he thought she was the most terrible person. He wanted to divorce her every day. I want a divorce. I want a divorce. I want a divorce. Now that he's been semi-working on himself, he's not fully working. He's semi-working on himself. Yeah, he's not. I'll even tell him that he's because he doesn't even listen. I told him you got to listen every day. Yeah, I listen. Bichlal doesn't listen. You know. So what she's saying? How come he doesn't share with me where he's going, when he's coming? Because I wanted to surprise him. Now imagine if he was at work and say, honey, he's thinking she's at work. Honey, I'm leaving early today. I'm gonna go home right now, 11:30, whatever. She'll be able to, oh, sweetie, don't come home yet, right? Whatever. Meaning, but he didn't. He doesn't share with her, you know, what he's doing, and the women hate that. The women hate that. Why? Because for them, then that's not my husband. I don't know where he's going. As far as you're concerned, you're going to the left. You understand? They want to know where you are. Interesting. We said it yesterday. When they're late, they don't say anything to us. We got to keep our mouths shut. And we generally don't. No, we don't. They're in halabek, whatever. But when we're late, right, from a shiur, we're in a shiur. 15 minutes late from the shiur. My shiur finishes 10 o'clock. It's 10:20. Can I? A lot of guys say, what am I, a kid that I have to tell her? No, it's not a kid. They love this. They feel included. And that's what they want. They want to feel included in your life. They want to feel special. Sorry, Rabbi.
Yesterday, I had a couple. It was so bad.
So yesterday what?
Yesterday at a couple, the man was so bad.
The man was so bad. She got already on pills for depression.
Wow.
He?
She.
Because him and his parents, you don't know how to raise kids. You like your mother, papa, papa, poo, constantly. And I told them, you mishuga, you crazy. What are you doing? No. We have to teach her a lesson, how to do it, what to do it.
That's everybody, by the way.
Yeah.
We have to teach her a lesson.
They destroyed her. Behemet destroyed her. Then I told them, Bo, I'm gonna learn with you, okay, this book, an hour a week. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, good. After 2 weeks, he calls me up. He says, I don't recognize her בכלל. פתאום she is cooking for me, she does this for me, the house is clean. I told her, you know, it will be ups and downs now because she is still. But you stay calm, don't say one word. Just say compliments. Your parents should not see her בכלל, no. They are the poison. Yeah, okay, fine. Now he told me, okay, she's totally off the pills. Off the pills, בכלל. She went back to work. She is a special ed. She's a special ed. He said, I don't want my parents next to my house anymore. Zero. Because they all the time told them she don't know what to do with the kids. Look, they don't know how to dress. כל הזמן, תח, 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 תח. So he is a child, also go to his wife, tach, tach, tach.
Instigate. No, they instigate. The parents sometimes, or many times, they instigate. Oh, she's like this. Why is like this? Why is like this? Leave them alone. As parents, Bezat Hashem, tomorrow we're gonna be, parents-in-law. Stay away from your kids' lives. Stay away. Let them do whatever they have to do. Don't give them no advice.
This son is energetic, and after her, he become quiet.
That's not your problem. That's not your problem. That's her problem. Yeah. As long as they're two very happy,
How do you know they're happy? It's la pashana.
this is not your problem. He got married. Let him go over there. Let him seek help from somebody else, not from the family, because we cannot help. You know what? We have bias. We're biased. If it's my son, I'm going to be on my son's side. If it's my daughter, I'm going to be on my daughter's side. It's not going to work. You hear? It's not going to work. But by the way, he says that they will go to depression. A woman she'll need medicine. Why? Because you understand this compounded, debasing of her. She's not going to be. See, people said, how come she just doesn't tell us that we're criticizing? Because that's not how she looks at it. It's everything that's criticism. You know what I mean? We mentioned things that's also criticism. Yeah, it's an internal thing. They start breaking down to the point that they need medicine to be calm. You don't understand? It's a serious thing.
He calls it a crack in the foundation.
100%. Says the Talmud says that whoever places too much fear in his home will in the end come to transgress 3 major sins: forbidden sexual relations, bloodshed, and breaking the Shabbat. And here's an example, and he's going to basically, briefly I will explain to you that what? He says forbidden sexual relations, she's so scared, she forgot to do counting of the period here, that. He wants to already be with her, and she's going to, forcefully be with him. Why? Because she's going to be like, if not, he's going to kill me, start telling me, oh, titakai, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, whatever. You understand? So that's forbidden relations. Bloodshed, she may run away out of fear of him, and due to emotional duress, end up in fatal situation. Yeah. Many women, they run away, chas v'shalom, and transgression of Shabbat. Yeah, if he's so demanding, she's gonna, oh my God, my husband loves eggs, what am I gonna do? He's gonna go crazy. On Shabbat, she's gonna put a raw egg in the thing. Why? Because the husband is gonna make a big deal because there's no eggs. No raw eggs. No eggs. You hear? We don't understand these things because I think many of us are a little bit on the understanding side. No, but there are men. I'm the king of the house, and therefore you have to do what I need.
I actually witnessed that.
Yeah. Many.
Woman lit a candle by the fire for Chag. Esh
Yeah.
burnt out. She's like, lit it again. Freaked out.
Yeah, because they're scared. And he says you should not be a tyrant. Whenever one of the children has misbehaved, a terrorized wife will be afraid to tell her husband. For tyrannical husbands are usually tyrannical fathers that punish their children cruelly. The child in turn becomes progressively undisciplined and more difficult to handle. She's afraid if she tells the father that he did this, he's wacko, he's going to beat him up. Now, she doesn't want him to beat him up, and she doesn't know how do I tell the father. So she doesn't tell him. What happens? The child gets worse because she's afraid of the father, the husband. You understand? He says, were it not for the reign of terror at home, she could have kept her husband abreast, meaning she'd tell him, listen, he's doing this, and he could have helped his son, his child, right, before he slips up and goes into a pattern of wrongdoing. In a household with fear, everyone will lie in order to escape the wrath of the despote father and husband, meaning he doesn't control himself. He says, a man must never insult his wife or strike her, God forbid. The Jewish Code of Law states, a man who hits his wife has committed transgression, and the power is given to the court to beat him and excommunicate him, because this is not the way to be with a woman. You hear? So hitting your wife, chas v'shalom, under all circumstances, not allowed at all. And neither the woman to the I hear now a lot of women are beating up their husbands, yeah? But you're laughing.
That's
You're laughing.
allowed, right?
No, it's not allowed.
Why?
No, it's not allowed. For a woman to hit her husband, chas v'shalom, chas v'shalom.
No?
So Be'ezrat Hashem will continue next week. We continue tomorrow, maybe next week. Yeah. Further. So let's keep working on ourselves. Remember, consistency is the biggest thing over here. We have to be consistent with what we do. If we're not consistent, this is not going to work, right? Consistency is very important. Once we program ourselves not to believe me, it becomes easy. Now you already know, what to say, what not to say. People think, wow, I have to work on pins and needles. I'll be honest with you, the 20 years that I suffered, I was walking on pins and needles. In fact, there's 2-3 books that somebody gave me. The title is Walking on Pins and Needles.
Wow.
Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. And why? Why? Because anything that you would say, it would create an argument. Now, it's a trigger. Now, you don't want to be in there, and you're not understanding why is this happening. And guess what? He tells it. Every psychologist should read this book. Why? He tells you why. He gives you he says, the trigger is because of this. If you have no trigger. You understand? So, Be'ezat Hashem will continue on Sunday.